The UN says January was Haiti's most violent month in 2 years. In January alone, more than 1,100 people were killed, injured, or kidnapped in the country. The Western Hemisphere's poorest nation has been grappling with a wave of gang violence. Some armed groups have even taken over parts of the country. The UN rights chief warns that the expanding gang violence is creating disastrous consequences for Haitians. Well, to delve deeper into this story, we can now speak to Renata Segura, Deputy Program Director at the International Crisis Group. Thanks so much for joining us on the program. Gang violence has dogged Haiti for years now. January was the most violent month. Why has the situation become so dire?
Well, since the assassination of President Moise in July of 2021, we really have seen what amounts to an almost failed state. Without a president, without a real police force that is able to secure the country, the gangs that have existed for many decades in Haiti have been taking control of more and more territory, and they're fighting each other as well as the police to control these areas. They extort, they kidnap, and they try to really strengthen the way in which they control particularly roads, to be able to make money and have bigger control over both population and territory.
And this is all happening as protests have been going on, demanding that Prime Minister Ariel Henry step down after he failed to hold elections this month. He says the votes will be held when the security situation improves. Do you see him giving up power anytime soon?
It doesn't seem that way. The prime minister had signed an agreement in December 2021 in which he had promised to convene elections in 2023 and step down by February 7th of 2024. That did not happen. In his defense, it is very difficult to see how Haiti would be able to conduct a fair election at this point. There is no territorial control. The gangs would have real power over who gets to the polls. So it would be very difficult at this point. But we have also seen Henry not really come to the table to negotiate with the opposition to construct a transitional government that is fair and that is seen as legitimate. The majority of Haitians do not like Henry. He has been appointed really by the international community. Nobody ever elected him to power, and he is widely disliked among most of Haitians. However, with no clear path of succession, with no clear sense of who would take power after him if he was to resign, the international community has continued to support him. And it's been extremely difficult to come to an agreement in which there could be some form of power sharing between Henry and those in the opposition. It seems right now that Henry is going to stay in power, very much with the support of the international community.
So the situation is clearly difficult politically, but also socially as well. Haiti is the most poorest country in the Western Hemisphere. Is there any hope for the country?
I mean, you always hope that there is going to be hope for the country. And even though it's sort of a common thing to say that people that are in dire straits are resilient, Haitians really are very resilient. There is obviously right now a lot of expectation about the possibility of a multinational support mission coming to Haiti. This would be essentially police, as of now, led by Kenya, but with the support of other countries, that would come to support the national police to take over some of these combats with the gangs and to be able to regain some territory, take away from the armed groups. How likely this is going to happen, we don't know for sure. There has been a decision by the Constitutional Court in Kenya that has stopped the deployment of the mission that was supposed to be arriving around now. Both the Kenyan government and the US and others that are supportive of the initiative are trying to figure out ways in which the mission can move forward, even though it's going to be a very difficult situation for the mission if it does arrive. We do have hope that it would change the situation on the ground and that it would strengthen the national police to be able to take control of some of the country back and allow a bit of normality.
Renata Segura, Deputy Program Director at the International Crisis Group. Thank you so much for joining us on the program. Thank you for your insight.
Thank you for having me.